War. War never changes. But Fallout does, in the sense it just gets better and better. The latest installment on the horizon is Fallout 4, and is set to open its big steel gates on November 10th, 2015. That's this year, folks. After finishing work on Skyrim DLCs, they wanted to work on their next big project, which we now know is Fallout 4. Bethesda Vice President of PR Pete Hines told TVG in 2008, "This is not something we're going to do once and then walk away and never do again. However, when that might be and how long that will take, only God knows. But we acquired it specifically because we could own it and work on it and develop it like we did the Elder Scrolls." And we'd like to point out something funny at this point. Has anyone else noticed that the release date of the game and the in-game time on Fallout is always the same? For example, in New Vegas, the start time in-game was 21st of October, and the game was released 21st of October 2010. And another quick thing we'd like to point out for those folks at Bethesda, this is their first game on the next-gen console, not including ESO, as that was just ported to the next-gen consoles. So here's what we've learned. The first trailer shows a Zeppelin fire over Paul Revere's statue located in the city. Apparently, way before we knew about the trailer. In August 2012, a Reddit user suggested that Bethesda was scouting locations throughout Boston for Fallout 4. Cambridge-based University, some institute of technology was said to be a focus of their research. We like to point out that the Boston rumour was supported by leaked casting documents for Fallout 4. Long story short, it's definitely in Boston. I just like the sound of my own voice. So, why Boston? What's in Boston? Well, actually the Commonwealth is. Boston was never a setting for a previous Fallout game, but it was mentioned in Fallout 3's side quest The Replicated Man. In the Fallout series, MIT reformed as the Commonwealth. In the wake of the nuclear war, MIT came to be known as the Institute, an organisation that specialises in creation of androids. Another faction of note in the Commonwealth is the Railroad, a group dedicated to helping these androids. And do you all remember that radio station in Fallout 3 run by that disc jockey? What's a disc? Hell if I know. In early 2013, Three Dog voice actor Eric Todd Dellums suggested that he would reprise his role in Fallout 4. It's surprising, though not impossible, that Three Dog would relocate from the DC area to Boston. Perhaps he's spreading the word of the good fight. All I want to know is, travel isn't easy, nor particularly safe in the post-apocalyptic states. Well, what was the states? The leaked casting documents we mentioned earlier discussed a disc jockey named Travis Miles. This doesn't mean that there won't be a different radio station manned by Three Dog, however. Fallout 3 definitely had too few music options, and Fallout New Vegas wasn't much better, to be fair. So Bethesda fixed this flaw in Fallout 4 with several radio stations to choose from. There was way too many flaws in that sentence. And no Fallout game will be complete without being reminded that conflict will never be any different. So why should this Fallout be any different? Well, it isn't. Ron Perlman can be heard as the radio voiceover throughout the trailer of Fallout 4. And, now, brace yourself, folks.
War never changes.
I know, it gets me every time. The trailer also suggests that Perlman plays an actual character. In the past, he's just been a judgmental narrator with no life of his own. Well, he was always judgmental to me. Those yet again aforementioned casting documents state the Fallout 4 protagonist will wake up from a cryogenic sleep chamber at the outset of the game. His, or possibly her, opening monologue implies that they were napping before the war started. We now know that the dweller in question was a soldier before the war, and went to the vault on that fateful Saturday the bombs fell, with his young son and wife, to be later frozen in cryostasis, only to emerge 200 years later. As far as naps go, that's one hell of a record. As for the exact date, well, we don't actually know yet. It's most likely that the day and month will be November 28th. Wait, no, that's my birthday. It'll be November 10th. As for the exact year, we're not too sure. We like to think it'll be after the events of DC and Vegas, possibly the early 2090s. I doubt they'll kick off the new century just yet. Although, if you're like me, I will use the wait option to get to the new century. So, what things are returning? Well, we've already mentioned Three Dog is to make a return. As well as your trusty Pip-Boy, there are several other features returning to the Wasteland. For one, the legendary Vault-Tec assisted targeting system, or VATS to you and me, is to make a critical impact. It's been revamped and improved upon from the earlier version. And as the trailer suggests, canine companions are back, and I believe there's even an option to call it dog meat. And the Brotherhood of Steel have returned and fancy new vertibirds. Not much is revealed about their involvement in the story at the moment, but they're back. So our big metal tech-hogging saviors are back. But what are the tyrannical idealists, the Enclave? Again, we don't know. I'd like to think they'd make an appearance at least, although, to be honest, just to add their power armor to my collection. I'm so close to a house party protocol right now. And for those folks like myself who like character creation, you'll be pleased to know there are no more sliders involved in the character creation this time. In fact, we have a fancy new morphing system, similar to The Sims 4, I'd like to say, to make the dweller of your dreams. The neat thing, yes, I said neat, deal with it, is the way it's implemented into the story. You can either play as male or female. However, they're both in the game. For example, if you choose to be a male, you can happily build him the way you want and then switch to make the female in the game. The person you leave the menu with is the person you're playing the game. So what new features are in the game? Well, I'm sure you all saw the new fancy power armor, the T60B, with complete upgrading and customization for your mutant killing needs. In fact, it's so good you have to climb into the damn thing. I think I might call my dweller Tony. Along with upgradable power armor, you can upgrade any other armor and clothing with a brand new layer system. And to say weapon modifications are returning is like saying fish swim better with fins. You can basically rebuild any weapon you want to the point that makes Alien Blaster look like Bart's catapult. And a brand new feature to the Fallout universe, settlements settlements aren't new, but what I'm about to say next is a new feature. This game's pure customization. You can build your own settlements from the ground up, brick for brick. The system even has a bit of a Gary's mod feel towards it, as your settlements will need power, and you can even hook up terminals to control aspects of your community. And while the Pip-Boys are turning, this baby is completely brand new. Not just with animation, but with upgraded systems too, and the ability to play games on it. Plus we finally see where the holotapes actually fit into the damn thing. Was it just me wondering that? And while on the subject of Pip-Boys, the Fallout 4 Pip-Boy Collector's Edition comes with an actual Pip-Boy. Not only can you wear this beauty, but you can even put your phone inside it. The downloadable app that gives it Pip-Boy functions and features. I wonder if they'll do a Vault Zoo edition. And if you haven't already checked out the app, go to the App Store now for the Fallout Shelter game. Build your own vault as Overseer and maintain and control your dwellers. Well folks, I'm going to go rock in a corner until Fallout 4 is released, all the while singing 5 stars Atom Bomb Baby. So ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching, I've been G and you've been amazing. If you liked this video, put a like and subscribe, I'd appreciate it dearly. Put a comment down below, and as always, stay awesome.